Welcome traders to another success story at FundingPips. Today we have a special guest, Saai. He's our trader at FundingPips for now, how long?
2 years, probably.
2 years. And Saai has received over $135,000 in rewards. And I believe tomorrow is going to be a mark of $137,000 in rewards. You can also catch Saai on Trading TV, where he trades with other FundingPips traders. Welcome.
Thank you, Valina.
It's so nice to have you here. I mean, we already had one success story conversation already.
Yeah.
But it's always amazing to have the conversation
in person,
eye to eye, etc. So some of our traders will not know you yet.
Yeah.
So let's take it from the start. When did you start trading? When did you join FundingPips?
Yeah.
And how did you find consistency in trading?
Sure. So for the people who don't know me, I'm Sai. I'm the Your Ordinary Trader on socials and X. And I've been trading for the past 7 years now.
Mhm.
And that's predominantly the Indian markets. Post a time, like I've moved to UK probably around 5 years back. And that's when I got an opportunity to explore the Forex and future space.
Okay.
So that's when I've started looking at Forex and futures.
Mhm.
But the first interaction with FundingPips is when FundingPips actually shut down.
Okay.
So when the Black Bull incident happened, and I kind of loved how Khalid and the FundingPips management team brought back FundingPips as a company, paid out all the traders. That's when I thought, okay, this is a legitimate company which I want to work with.
Okay.
That is where I kind of started looking at FundingPips. And post that, it's just history. I think 59 payouts by tomorrow and close to 138 or 137K in rewards.
Amazing. Do you know what I love the most? I actually did not know that you actually did join us after that incident, which was like a black swan incident for us.
Yeah.
I was part of FundingPips already. I remember that day, yesterday, and then what it took out of us.
Yeah.
And I do love that you looked at us during the time when we went under, and you were like, "Yes, I want to be part of them and become day trader." I really respect that. I love it. So it's incredible what you have achieved. And I also admire your consistency and the way you approach the markets because, you take your little piece at the time. And very often I say that to traders in our trading psychology sessions, that I see the market as a cake. And our job is to take tiniest piece of cake one bit at a time. It may not be every day, because every day we cannot expect that consistency and profitability. But our job is to just take that tiny piece and start building something on the side for ourselves. And you really are doing that. Because tell the audience, what is your average reward from FundingPips?
All of the rewards are close to $3,000 on the 100K account. That's close to 2 to 3%. The biggest payout I got, I think close to, was $6,000, not anything more than that. For people who are looking and watching this, they'll think, oh, this guy got $137,000 in reward. He would have got maybe $10,000-$20,000 rewards, and he would have flipped it. I didn't do that. It was back-to-back consistent wins, close to 58 payouts. All of them are close to 3,000.
And what was the smallest reward that you took?
Probably tomorrow, I think that's around 1,000 or $800.
So 1% essentially.
Yeah, still 1%.
Beautiful. I love that, because this is you just consistently taking what's yours. And over the last 2 years, 58 different cycles of receiving those rewards. That's amazing. How do you judge the situation because that would be very helpful for a lot of traders watching this? How do you judge? I stop at 1%, or I continue to 3%, or that time you continue to 6%?
So it's all based on the trading system I trade. And if I take a trade, and let's say I keep a 1 to 3 hour trade, and I keep a 3% target, if the market goes with momentum with the session timings aligned, then I just leave it until 1 to 3. If not, I obviously trade. So in the accounts which I trail, maybe I might hit a 1% profit target, and I don't touch those accounts after that.
Okay, amazing. Were there times that you did touch the account?
They were. Yeah. So there are incidents where you have that tilt which comes under you, and this especially happens when you see markets are trending, not in the sideways markets for me, especially when you see like an all-time high breakout or maybe a very good consolidation breakout on a daily time frame, you get that urge to basically put in. And I've kind of regretted it a lot more than basically benefit out of it. I would have caught good trades out of that as well, but ultimately it would still make
genuinely I feel you. Every time I broke my rules, I always regretted it, and I always proved to myself just about that small consistency that you are talking about.
People have this misconception of consistency. They think Saai is a person on Instagram or on Twitter. They think Saai is a person who doesn't even lose accounts. He got 59 payouts, but I still lose accounts. I think I lost an account last week, right?
Amazing.
So it's a part of a process which everyone has to go through, right? So that's something which every trader has to understand. Consistency is not like you basically buy one account and make it to 50 payouts. That's not how prop firms actually work. You cannot do that. Probably you could do it on a real account, but you can't do it on a prop firm.
And the reason I'm saying amazing is that you are sharing that information with traders, because you're right. There is that misconception. Traders sometimes think that if you're a, master account holder or you get consistent rewards, you never blow an account, challenge account, or even a master account. Well, you do. Like you said, I do, I breach, but then I know how to build up again. Now, let's talk about that, because that's a very interesting topic. First of all, how did you find consistency? So, we all traders here. I'm a trader, you're a trader. A lot of us around here in the office now, Dubai headquarters, we are traders, and we all went through those periods of losses, especially at the start. But then there is this discovery period that you have with yourself as a trader. They're discovering what type of trader you are, whether you're a scalper, day trader, intraday, etc., etc. How did you discover that about yourself? And number two, what did you actually have to do to become a consistent trader? Because I believe every single one of us goes through that cycle of doing the same mistakes over again. You may be actually pretty good with your psychology, pretty good with your system, but your risk management may be completely bad. What was it for you, and how did you fix it?
I think, as you said, like it's an entire package. You should have your risk management in check, your discipline in check, your psychology in check, and when you have everything in place, probably the market starts to reward you. Probably not for sure. And the second thing is, I kind of did a lot of back tests whenever I'm doing, and I also reviewed and journaled a lot of my trades. So what I found out is the initial first part of the week, Monday to Wednesday, my trades go very well. They are like super good. And if you observe the market dynamics in a weekly candle, you would probably get the direction of the entire weekly bias decided by Wednesday. After that, it's mostly, sometimes it starts to create the wick on the higher time frame, which is on a weekly candle, where a lot of chop starts to happen. So that's what I've observed. My best trades are from Monday to Wednesday. So I used to love the Tuesday payout because I get so good trades on Monday that I can request it on Tuesday, just the next day. So that was the entire phenomenon how I got these many rewards, because the best trades always happen in the first 3 to 4 days. That's the max.
Amazing.
I never get very good trades on Thursday or Friday. Even if I trade, probably I'll try scalping. I won't try to capture the piece of the cake which you said. Right. So where I always say this in my community as well. You're, as a day trader, I'm specifically a day trader. So as a day trader, you have this big candle which is forming on a daily time frame. Your job is to just capture 1 or 2% of that big candle. That's the only thing. You don't have to do it every day. If the market conditions doesn't suit it, you just have to do it 1 day or 2 days in a week. That's more than enough.
Absolutely. This is where we lose ourselves as traders a lot of the time, wanting to capture everything. Everything. Oh, if the market is moving so many pips, I want everything. No. Take your piece, move on. Take your piece, move on. Those for me were the most peaceful and mindful and profitable months in the market. And actually being able to also close the day with a loss. Okay, it's a small loss, so what? And be happy it's a small loss, because when you try to resuscitate that loss, this is when it's going to become deeper and bigger and worse. Now, I know we need to have a whole package as traders, right? But what were the mistakes you kept on repeating before you became consistent trader?
I think a lot was the major thing which I did was like shifting a lot of trading systems.
Okay.
After a point, I kind of understood everything works in trading. To be really honest,
Yeah.
Be it maybe it'll be controversial for many of them. Be it ICT, be it SMC, be it market structure, be it liquidity, whatever you talk, be it trend lines, everything works. All
Yeah.
you need is a proper context on how to use it. If you understand the context, what do I mean by context? Context is nothing but what is the higher time frame bias doing, and is it in a trending phase or in a sideways phase or in like what
Yeah.
kind of phase it is, and then apply the concepts. It can be trend line, it can be price action, it can be ICT. Then the concepts work much better rather than you apply in a chop market or in a sideways market. Right. So I see this problem where they try applying it everything into one cycle, and there are market cycles, obviously, as a trader. So you might face those drawdown months, they shift their system to something else. That's where the strategy hopping keeps on. And that was my problem for very long time. So a system used to work for like 1 month. I go live and it stops to work.
So what did you do to realize that? Because I believe a lot of traders that are watching it right now, they perhaps are going through the same now. And there is a part of you that knows it, but there is a part of you that cannot stop doing it because you think, oh, maybe now this is going to work, or maybe now, or maybe sometimes people think I need to stay adaptable to the market. So maybe it's good for me to shift between, trading or entries on 15 minutes, then on 1 minute, etc. There's some truth in that. But what made you kind of realize and say, do you know what, enough is enough? What was that? I almost call it a breaking moment, because we do get to a breaking moment where we break ourselves down as traders so much in a bad way that we say, I have enough of you, pointing at ourselves and say, the change is going to come now. What was it like for you?
I think it's mostly when you have that self-realization of after losing so much in markets that, okay, this is done. I would have to find out something which works. And trading, to be honest, is a very personal thing for everyone. Someone like you might be a master of psychology, but someone like me could be a master of risk management.
Absolutely.
So you would have to understand what are your plus points. That's the only way you can do it is like you journal your trades. You write your emotions on a book, saying that, okay, this is how my trade went, this is what I would have done, this is what I'm thinking right now when the trade is in progress. I should have moved to stop loss, my stop loss to break even, or like I should not. So all these thoughts are the ones which you have to keep improving over time, right? So that's the process which you kind of improve over time, and that would make you as a better trader. And that breakthrough moment is obviously will be coming if you can do that. That's what would be my advice. And my breakthrough moment happened like that. I used to journal a lot of trades and then understand that, okay, this is how I'm going wrong.
I really love that, because there is one common thing that traders, now I'm talking to all of you, all of the consistent traders talk about the same thing: journaling. But not just journaling in your trades. It's not just data collection of I entered here, that was my stop loss, this was my exit. That's not all of it. What's all of it is actually your thought process, your risk. Why did you place your stop loss here? Why did you manage your trade that way? Did you predetermine how you're going to manage your trade before you entered it? Or what did you think about? Because that actually, that data, your thoughts, is going to tell you a lot about your state, how you manage yourself, etc. And sometimes when you actually start writing about the way you are thinking, you will stop acting so much on the charts. So you will act less on the charts.
I mean, it's not only journaling the trades. I would say journal your entire day. Like what did you do for that day? Probably you would have woke up and probably ate junk and sat in a chair, probably open the markets when it's not in a session where the market is moving, or maybe you went out for a walk, came back, or maybe you hit the gym, came back, your mind is fresh, you ate a good breakfast, you then watched the London Open and you got a very good trade. So what is the differentiating factor? Maybe the habits also might help someone.
Not only, not maybe, definitely. Which brings me to a question: what's your routine? What do you do?
So the general routine starts in the morning. So I have the London Open. Before the London Open, it's somewhere around 6 a.m. UK is what I wake up at, and I mark my levels. So that's a part of my trading system. So that's I mark my levels on the chart, and I send it to my community. Post that, I just go up, like freshen up, and come back and have my breakfast. That is when I'll be ready for the London Open. Probably if I get a good trade, I'll trade the London Open. Otherwise, I'll skip it and then come back after, probably in the New York session. Once the New York session is done, there are very specific spots which I trade. So I only trade either the London Open or the closes, or maybe the New York Open or the closes. And once I come back, probably I'll hit the gym in the evening and have some dinner, sleep early. That's the entire process. My day is pretty boring.
So do you have like a different routine, let's say Monday to Friday, and then
so
on weekends?
So the gym is only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I go to the gym only on 3 days, and the rest of the 3 days are like mostly other activities. I don't go to the gym, but I go for swimming on Tuesday. So on Wednesday I go for a walk. So it's bit different activities which keep your mind active, and also like you have that sense, because I live in UK alone, so I don't have any friends or anything apart from me going to the gym and meeting friends in gym, right? So I would have to have that peace of mind that okay, I have someone to talk to rather than just looking at the charts. So that's the only thing, kind of.
And that's right. It's a change of environment as well. Sometimes we get so stuck, and I'm sure you experience that. On the charts, we get that tunnel vision, just in out, what's going, and you lose yourself in all of that, and change of that environment, and having a structure to your day, a structure to how you do things, that sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym. But see, you already told me no, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
they're kind of fixed. So what,
like it's fixed unless I'm sick.
I have so much urge to not go on a Friday when Powell is talking, because all the speeches are mostly on Friday. But my gym is specifically timed around 6 to 7 p.m. in the evening during UK times, where the speeches happen. I'm like, okay, Powell is speaking, my gym is there, let me go to the gym. I am out of markets and my loss is also not there.
Beautiful.
Just stick it.
Beautiful. Right. And there is that temptation. Let me just highlight, there is that temptation. It's not that eventually when you get to that point, that temptation disappears. It's there.
Yes.
But you learn how to manage it.
Obviously, because if I'm not there and watching the charts, I can't even take a trade.
Exactly.
But if I'm watching a trade, I know Powell is going to cut interest rates and market is planning to go up. So I might take a buy just looking at, okay, it is going to buy. It's going to, but it's rather than I'll hit a stop loss in the volatility, I'll just move out.
Yeah, of course. It's amazing. I agree. The structure that you build into your days, the habits that you exercise, the discipline that you bring into your life with your diet, exercise, reading, this or the other. And sometimes at the start, you may have to be more intense. I remember at the start, especially when I went full-time trading, all of those things were very intense for me. I had like a structure for the first 2 hours of the day, and then what I'm going to do after, etc. Then you can ease off, but you need to be disciplined. All of the traders I know, consistent traders, we all are mindful of what we eat and how we eat it. Of course, we find the balance of letting ourselves go on the weekends and enjoying the life. But I know everybody is mindful of their diets. Everybody goes to the gym. Everybody does some kind of activity. Like all of us have discipline in our life outside of the charts, because that discipline is then brought into the charts as well. All right, that's fantastic. Now I want to talk about the rewards. I mean, the number of rewards that you had received from FundingPips is incredible. I mean, $137,000 is absolutely life-changing. That's in 2 years. I mean, if we divide that roughly by 2 years, that is around $67,000 per year. That's way more than an average salary in the UK. Average salary in the UK is around 30,000. 30,000. And that's already almost double. Where were you before? Did you ever believe you could achieve that point? I mean, how about this? Tell us about your start in the UK. How did you start? Because you mentioned before we started this conversation that you moved for the job. You know, what was your job?
I used to work as a banker in IT specifically. I used to work in the KYC and the AML departments.
Nice.
So I know all of this KYC,
Yeah.
whatever happens in
Yeah.
when you're authenticating a customer.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do. I used to code systems for KYCs. So that was my job back then. And eventually it kind of like thought, okay, this is kind of overwhelming. I still do contracts sometimes when I'm free, but it's not like a full-time thing which I currently do.
Yeah.
Because I don't, again, people think full-time trading is like sitting in the front of the chart and watching it 100% of the time. That's not what I do. My best week probably will be 2 trades a week or like a 3 trades a week. That's my best week, right? So I would still get a lot of time to basically have some fun in life.
Yes.
So that's how it's been. And eventually I kind of started looking at trading, and I never thought that I would make it that big. And I should thank FundingPips for that, because I never had a trust that a prop firm would pay so many rewards. I've never seen someone doing so many payouts with any other firm, like even 30 plus rewards. I know probably after 10 plus rewards, you will get banned in another one, probably, right? So it's very difficult for you to have that longevity in a prop firm, where a particular prop firm is paying one single trader month after month without even restrictions, right? That's the best part of FundingPips, right? And
so instilled that confidence in you that it's possible.
Yes, that kind of gave me the confidence that okay, this is something which I can do, and this is something which I can achieve. And probably if someone is watching, they should try doing it. Everyone thinks of, I'll just flip an account. Probably that try thinking that, can I replace at least 10% of my salary, probably 20% of my salary, 30% of my salary. Do it as a 6 months plan, and then you would eventually reach that goal where you might even replace or even make more than whatever.
I love that advice. Would that be advice of yours to someone who's considering to join FundingPips?
For sure, because FundingPips is someone who has paid me over 50 plus payouts, and they have never denied any payout to me, and I've never seen any prop firm doing that. So if someone is thinking that, okay, I want to make like a monthly salary, that okay, I just take 1 trade or 2 trades in a month. FundingPips also has like 100% rewards, so they could have probably take an account, get it passed, and just take 1 trade a month. They don't have to over trade. Just take 1 trade a month. Replace your salary with that. Probably you might get $500, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever it is. Just 1 trade a month, 3,000, 5,000. Try to replace your salary with 1 account.
It's actually amazing what can be achieved with just a handful of trades per month. When you just really time, one of my colleagues, he's an incredible trader. You can actually watch him on Beyond the Charts series, Safe. And he says, he thinks of him like himself like a sniper that just sits at the top of the building.
I've traded with him on trading TV.
And you just kind of, wait and sit, and you don't have to do much. He's more active on Trading TV actually than on his personal kind of trading, because he's like, okay, sure, I will be also scalping and this and that. But it's beautiful, because actually a few times a month, when you actually time it, and us all as traders know those times of it. We know, I know exactly that my second and third week of the month are the most profitable months. Why would you trade the first and fourth? Like, what is the point in that? There's a lot of data that we already know about ourselves, but sometimes we refuse to listen to that data, unfortunately. But it's beautiful. Handful, 4, 5, and you could replace your salary, So speaking of rewards, there's number 1 step. When did you decide full-time job is not for me anymore? Full-time trading is where I'm going. I mean, that's a brave move for anybody.
I think probably around 3 years or 4 years back when I started. That is when I was trading another firm, and I was able to make it to the payouts, but it was not very consistent as such. Over the time, I kind of built confidence that, okay, I could do this very consistently. And probably prop firms as such are born like to all of these traders, right? So they have so much opportunity around, where probably you might just have two accounts and have one payout secured in one, probably the other would be in a drawdown, right?
Yeah.
But you still make money, right? So that's kind of an advantage which traders are currently having. It's not like you're trading a real account, and if you're in a drawdown, you're not making money. So I thought, okay, if this is the case, then I don't have to probably work. I can probably get one payout or two payouts, and I could replace my salary. That's when I thought, okay, let's move on.
Amazing. And when it comes to the rewards, so 137, 38 maybe thousand tomorrow, how did it change your life? Like genuinely, because you said one thing, I did not expect this, that I'm gonna be keep on going and going and going and going, and you are. So how did it impact you or your loved ones?
I think there were incidents where my family was struggling financially during the COVID time, and we were also emotionally involved, like because we lost our grandfather and everyone. So at that time, I thought, okay, this is something which I should move on and get out of my comfort zone and also make another source of revenue. So currently, after that, I'm more invested. They are very happy that, okay, you are successful, you are coming out and basically doing all of these things. Actually, my father was the one who introduced me to stock markets or like trading in general, and he had the regret that he never invested in the markets when he was young. So he kind of pushed me, saying that, why don't you try markets, why don't you look at markets. That is my first introduction of candlesticks. That is my first introduction of what is support, what is resistance. So he's very happy and he's proud that, okay, this is something which you have achieved. And financially as well, it was a big boost up that, okay, now we are able to afford anything we want. We can probably buy a house, we can buy a car. We don't have to think about, okay, what are we doing right now? So that's the financial stability and the freedom kind of helped him.
How does that make you feel that you can do that for your family?
It's truly life-changing. I can't say much words about it. I'm thankful for FundingPips, to be honest, and nothing else apart from that.
It's I think one of the biggest achievements in life that we can reach, to be able to take care of our families, you know, especially as the children, you know, and look at our parents and grandparents and whoever and say, hey, don't worry about this, you know, here's this gift, here's that gift. And it's not about that, but it's about the security.
Yeah, it's about providing back to them. I see, like, even in my community, there's a person who never knew about prop firms, and he just started with FundingPips. He got a $200 payout. That's it, $200 payout. And he bought his mom his earrings, and he just posted a photo saying that, thank you, FundingPips.
It's amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. And you know, you can earn high salaries or do this, do that. The money that you get to actually spend from trading is the most fulfilling thing in the world, you know. And whether you reinvest or you do, you know, a lot of things, but knowing I've earned this through trading.
I mean, it's always better to reinvest,
of course, yes.
But if you are getting X, try to at least spend something on yourself or on your family.
Yes, 100%.
So that you feel that, okay, this money is real.
You reward yourself, and that reward system is, you know, really important for us as people. You know, it's amazing. Now, what would you say or advice give to a struggling trader?
I think I would say this even in my trading TV interviews. Whenever I come, I would say stick to one system. Backtest the system and understand that edge is working in the markets. And if you can trade that system for the next 90 days, it is going to change your life.
I have a second question. How should they find that system? Because there's so much information overload these days. I mean, on one hand, we live in one of the best times to be a trader. You get education in terms of strategies, psychology, you know, you get access to FundingPips, for example, as little as $29. You have the access, you know, for the 5K account. You get so much, you know, fundamental analysis, this, but sometimes that may lose someone in that too much info. It's a noise. It becomes procrastination. They don't know what to choose and pick. how should someone actually find what's good for them? I think that's one of the hardest questions I could ask.
Yeah, to be really honest, it's a very hard question to answer. As a trader, if you're starting out, probably anyone can go for the free resources. Try to understand what type of trader you are. That's the first question you need to answer. If you can answer, I'm good at scalping, or I'm good at day trading, I'm good at swing trading, try to answer the first question, which is the basic question, which you are going to learn anywhere you start trading, right? That, okay, this is day trading, this is swing trading, right? If you can answer that question, the second is try to pick one type of strategy, learn something which kind of repeats in the market. You can very well look at support and resistance. You can very well look at engulfing candles. Anything very as basic as that. Even that works, right? And you don't have to have that kind of profitability to replicate in real markets, right? In prop firms, as I said, probably the max funding is 300K in FundingPips. You can get 2 accounts. Let's say you're trading engulfings. The first engulfing, you took a trade, it took a stop loss. The second engulfing, probably you might take in another account and you might secure your payout. And the third engulfing, you might take it in the third account. The first 2 accounts are in a drawdown, but you can still make it to the payouts in the second account. So it is not that difficult to basically find that edge in prop firms, especially. And if you want to find real edge, probably you would have to backtest a lot and find a repeatable pattern, which is kind of repeating every day. Yes, engulfings work, but they might have a 50% win rate or a 45% win rate. Everything works. You just have to find out how well you can set it and whether I can make money as a day trader or as a scalper, right? So if you say that, okay, this is the engulfing wick, and that wick always gets tested in the next 1 hour, you could probably scalp that. As simple as
that. That's true. I'm a big believer and supporter of what you are saying, that everything works. Because at the end of the day, we are all looking at the same data. If I open Euro USD, you open Euro USD, we're looking at the same price. The thing is, whatever you call it, if it's this gap, that gap, this doesn't matter. It does not really matter. Find what's easy for you to understand. Simplify things, overcomplicate things. It's entirely up to you. But at the end of the day, markets will either move up or down. Like, that's it.
That's it.
And your job for the day is to establish, based on my higher time frame analysis or analysis, I think gold is likely to go up today, and I'm only looking for buys. Like, don't try to sometimes outsmart the market and
you don't
trade
have to
every
That's what
every kind of trend and pullback and trend. Just take one.
You don't have to do that. Like, as you said, set some rules, find the higher time frame narrative, and just trade with it. That's more than enough.
That's true.
And if you see the data, probably you would have a lot of data FundingPips as well. The ones who are trading the higher time frames are more profitable. Probably the 1 hour, 4 hours.
Which makes sense, because it's me not talking from data, it's talking from knowing traders, knowing myself as a trader too. If you think about it, let's say we are buy bias on gold today. Although December is now here, I've not been trading. December for me is a goner.
I'm on a holiday.
I'm done. But let's say we are buy bias on gold, and if you actually go on lower time frame, you are asking from the market to actually move, for the price to move at exact time, at exact pricing your direction with a tiny stop loss. Like,
you don't have
we're asking so much from ourselves even, because very often what I have noticed, funny you say that, before I saw consistency, was I was very much right about the bias of the day. I was very bad at entering the market because I was getting greedy. I wanted to get in with the smallest stop loss. Then I was over leveraging, etc. But then when I kind of went on to 15 minutes time frame, put your stop loss 1 to 2, whatever, just wait. I saw a great consistency, in my trading. And also I want to go back to what you said, that every system works. I saw people trading the most simplistic systems, such as if the 1H candle closes bullish, I go bullish on the next candle. Like, that's it. And it worked.
It works.
Because they repeated that pattern for the long enough period of time.
I mean, they'll also have, if someone is trading that system, they'll also have a lot of data to know when it works.
Exactly.
So you kind of start refining that edge a bit, and you increase your win rate probably from 55 to 70%.
Absolutely. First, collect the data on everything.
Yeah.
Then look at it. Like you said, it works on Mondays, but it doesn't work on Tuesdays. There's high probability on those days. Then repeat that on the highest probability days.
Yeah.
And then do it again and again and
again. That's how one finds it.
Yeah, that's how you start refining things. Absolutely. It's so important. If you had to put, I never asked those questions, our traders, but you and I know each other for so long time now. I feel like we can more kind of dive deeper into things. If you had to put like importance level, risk management, data collection, psychology, like how would you place it all? What's most important, etc.?
For me, I think risk management is the most important, because I'll tell you why. Risk management will also include money management. Yeah. So when you're trading prop firms, people think they're buying a $29 account, but you're not actually buying a $29. You could lose a $29 account. So you would have to have that money management buffer in when you're buying the challenge in the first place itself. That I would have at least like 5 times or 10 times buffer, that I don't lose all of my money in one challenge.
Yeah.
You need to have some buffer that, okay, let's say I lose this challenge. Yeah. And there is no system in the world which has 100% win rate, which will make it and pass your system, pass your prop firm. So you would you lose that account. Be prepared for that. And the risk management will also include money management, and it will also include how you trade.
Yeah.
And if you have the right risk management, your psychology is also in check. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, right? To be honest, I don't think there is a hierarchy, because if I have a great psychology but I don't have a good system, then what's my psychology going to do? I mean, if my system doesn't work, or there's one important thing: people may have great psychology, people may have a great system, but their risk management is not great.
That's what
everyone can make money, and everyone can keep money. And manage it over a period of time.
I mean, there is this experiment which most traders do. They can basically do a coin flip and just stick to a 1 to 2 risk reward and be profitable.
Did you hear of that trader that had a chicken?
The prop firm kid.
I've not actually looked at his content, but a lot of people told me about him ages ago. And he always makes me laugh. He had the chicken to actually have it choose.
It's like a coin flip, right?
It is. And I don't know if you remember, when I started our first trading psychology series, and I was a lot of conversations were also on Discord. And I remember there was one female trader, and she only had like half an hour window in the morning. And it was not even London open, it was Frankfurt open. An hour before. And there was still some volume there. But during that time, she had like actually only 15 minutes window to trade. And she would literally, it was almost like a flip of a coin. And every day, but because there was positive risk reward ratio about it, she would come out on top. She actually passed challenges. It was actually crazy.
That's what I used to trade very long back, like 5 years back. Probably people can test it. It still works. The Frankfurt Open, you get a buy candle. I just buy, keep the stop loss below, 1:2. You get a sell candle, you sell, keep the stop loss above. On a 15 minutes time frame, it works.
Yeah.
You'll have 60% win rate.
Yeah. There are a lot of systems that I'm sometimes, when I look back, I look back and I was like, why did I try to reinvent the wheel? But then it made sense because I wanted to learn more than and it's funny, you may learn basics, which I did on my journey, after a turbulent journey, of course. And then you overcomplicate things to then go back to basics. Because it's all about the basics actually in trading.
People add 10 different indicators thinking that, okay, this would make me profitable. But the less you do, the better you become.
I never use indicators ever. I only use a tool, which would be a fib. That's it. But when it came to indicators, I started like relying on them as if they're going to give me answers. No indicator will give you an answer. It could add to your edge. But to me, I always looked at it, let's say gold, we had a rally, right? RSI would say overbought all the time. So what would you be like, I'm not going to buy?
Trying to sell every time.
Exactly. So, there is a lot of things to think about. Now, you said that you, in Manchester on your own without any distractions. But do you think that helped you on your trading journey, or do you think sometimes having community is important, so you have someone to turn to? Because I believe, not I just believe, I think every trader will tell you this, no one understands us traders like we traders do. Yes, we may have the best supportive system around us, but if they're not traders themselves, they will not truly understand the pain sometimes that we go through, the struggles that we have to face. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it was very hard for someone who is trading alone. I mean, I'm a single child, so I've resonate even in my life as well. So it's very hard to trade alone, and I think if you don't have friends, you would have to make some, at least to have some sort of friends outside of trading as well. But even in the trading space, I think it's always better if you can join a like-minded community which trades your style. Let's say you are trading like intraday trading, so try to join a community which suits you. You try and join a scalping community, they might be scalping, and you are looking for an intraday trade, you'll almost be shocked.
Yeah.
So try to find something which resonates to you and make friends in that, and that's how you kind of grow in trading. It feels so painful sometimes. When I lose an account, I also feel like, okay, I don't want to do anything. But let's say you have someone to talk to. Okay, I lost this account. Probably they might help you with some kind of advice. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe risk management was not right. Maybe I took extra trades. Right. So that kind of helps. So always try to find some kind of community. And FundingPips really has an amazing community already in Discord. There are a lot of friends which I made from FundingPips community, and a lot of traders watch me on trading and come to my community as well, which is really good, to be honest. So
yeah, 100%, 100%. But now I want to open up a topic that perhaps you may not feel comfortable with, or others wouldn't feel comfortable with. But what I want to know is what happens still when you lose the account. So is it psychological? Is it over trading? And because again, if you just joined, or if you are kind of speeding up the conversation and you ended up here, like Saai has received tomorrow, it'll be $138,000 in rewards, 58 rewards. It's incredible statistics. But also, what he said was like, he may still lose a master account. What happens? Like, is it periodic? Is it like, talk to us about that process?
I mean, it feels bad when it happens after a win streak. It doesn't feel bad when I do it now, especially now after like going through the process. It doesn't feel bad when I lose it instantly after I get funded. But there was this, I'll tell you the moment where I felt really bad. There was this moment, the first account I started with FundingPips, I got 14 payouts from it. I was very close to the hot seat. I was expecting that hot seat, and I lost that account at that time. It was so painful that, okay, I should have got the hot seat, because we are expecting that as a trader. And I had to overcome that. And after I did that, it became easier and easier now, because initially everyone feels it. I had the worst moment given to me at the first. Now I don't feel the pain, because even if I don't get one payout and I lose the account, I'll feel like, okay, I lost an account when I was very close to hot seat. I should not feel bad when I So that's the approach which kind of you overcome with time. It's just a part of the process. You would have to start with a new account and then keep trading it.
There's one thing I want to ask you: how to balance out having goals and expecting things from ourselves. Because sometimes, like you said, I was expecting to get that hot seat, and that can create that invisible pressure that makes you crumble a little bit. But then at the same time, we should have goals, something that we are aiming towards. So how do you find that balance for yourself?
That's a very good question, to be honest. And I think I'm still figuring that out. I still figure that out, because when I try setting my goals, sometimes you have the devil in you which comes in, and you say, can we do it a bit faster? Probably the hot seat bit faster, probably the payout bit faster. And you try to take those trades which are not meant for you. And that's what happened for me when I was very close to the hot seat, and it felt bad. And that's when I understood that okay, it's just part of the process. You have to stick to the process, not let anything go within your mind, and you just have to roll on.
It's almost like a wake-up call reminder, you know. The market is very quick to kind of put you back in your lane and be like, hey,
because
behave yourself.
You can expect it, but there's nothing 100% in markets. It's all probability. So you cannot do that 100% of the times that okay, I'll probably do this. It's good to set a tangible goal, like okay, I can probably try making X payouts. Like I want to make 10 payouts in this year. I want to make $10,000 in this year. But don't try to set which is not in your control. Like let's say I want to make the next payout. That's not in your control. True. And let's say I want to make a payout in this week. That's not in my control. What market gives me is not in my control.
Absolutely.
Probably I'll make a payout in the next month, not in this month at all.
We should always focus on be the best traders we can be in terms of our discipline, our habits, which is off the charts and then on the charts, and just execute according to the predetermined plan. Easier said than done. And then kind of just in and out, in and out. And truly, when you stop thinking about the P&L and trying to make it a faster process, the rewards actually happen faster, way faster. When you slow down, you speed up. Because when you are speeding up and trying to chase something, there's this whole theory about, you know, chasing the butterflies. And when you chase the butterflies, they will fly away. When you pause and remain calm,
it comes on your hand.
They will come on your hand. And it's the truth. It's literally a theory for trading. When you slow down, it will come so much faster than you expect. And it can literally turn your life around in 3 months. Honestly. True. I say 3 months because I saw it. Like I had the social proof from.
I'm the living proof. I'll tell you.
3 months is usually a very powerful.
I'll tell you the story. I started FundingPips. The first month, the first account. I've never failed accounts when I started. The first account, I got 14 payouts. I scaled up to the second account while trading that. The second account, I got 6 payouts. The third account, I got 5 payouts. So that initial 3 months, I got close to 39, 30. 37 payouts, just the initial 3 months.
How much? What was the amount?
I think close to $50,000.
And that already is way above the living average, you know, in the UK, for example, because that's where you live. And that's life changing. I'm sorry, but if you can get your yearly salary way above your yearly salary in 3 months, that's life changing. You know, life changing, literally. And trading can really be life changing when you respect it. You know, when you really truly respect it. Now, you know, we already talked about the advice for someone who's starting with FundingPips. What would be your advice, and also who's struggling? What would be your advice for someone who's just considering to start trading? So maybe they can take the shortcut through your experience and not make as many mistakes. Or is that not possible?
I think traders are gonna make mistakes no matter what I talk into the camera right now. But I think the easier and the easiest process to follow is don't try to do system hopping. That's the one advice which I'll say. And don't try to add 10 more indicators. That's additional confluence is always bad for trading. Try to make it as simple as you can. Stick to one thing and try to master the edge. Try to see where you're going wrong. Try to see if you can refine it, and you would eventually become profitable within the next 2 to 3 months if you can do that process. That's it.
Yeah. And on that note, I would like to inform you guys that we will want to support you on your journey as well. And we will give out 2 50K FundingPips challenge accounts so you can have that escalation on your journey or platform. So what you have to do is subscribe, like, and comment to tell us what you have learned from Saai today. And we will announce the winners in our blog. That comes out every Tuesday before or after rather success stories that we have here every Wednesday. Now, last question I have for you.
Yep.
Did you start with 100K account, or what was the size?
It was always 100K.
100K account.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your last words to traders to close this conversation?
I think I've already said it multiple times. Try to basically make a plan which will suit you. And once you have that plan, try sticking to that plan for the next 90 days. Have the risk management in check. If you can do that, you're going to change your life.
Amazing. And guys, I want you to comment and tell us what you have learned from Saai, right? It's really important, because when you share your thoughts and you start brainstorming about the messaging that you had received from a successful trader, you will be able to also help others on their trading journey. We also want to invite you to Friday at FundingPips, where we do trading psychology series every single Friday. And on Sundays, you have Beyond the Chart series. And of course, on Wednesday, you have us here with yet another success story. And Saai was a trader like you, who at the start perhaps struggled a little and tried to find his way around the charts, risk management, systems, psychology. But here he is, sitting on 138,000 in rewards. And honestly, guys, you could be next. You could be next if you actually put in the work and implement the lessons from every single trader that is sat here in front of us, telling you exactly the same thing over and over again. Backtest, stick to the same strategy, journal your trades, your thoughts, and be disciplined outside of the charts. Basically, that's the formula, but you will not escape the hard work. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Where success meets psychology in Paulina's way. Strengthen your mindset every week. Success story every Wednesday. Traders who broke through their limits. Psychology session every Friday. Join now. Hit the bell. One session could change your trading forever. FundingPips. Built by traders for traders.